Personal training is dead. Welcome to Strong for Life Live. If you're catching it live on the YouTube channel or the Become Strong for Life Facebook group. If not, welcome to Strong for Life podcast. This is available on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, all the major platforms. And if you're catching it on any of those, please take a moment to like, rate, review, share with your friends if you found anything valuable, because that really helps make this possible. And as always, the Strong for Life podcast is made for busy parents and professionals. This podcast is generally pretty short. We keep things between 15 and 20 minutes tops on most topics. And the idea is, let's dig into something. Let's make it quick. Let's get the meat and potatoes of it so you can go about your day and use that information. Now, for announcements, first of all, it's Tuesday, 10 a.m., down in Hobart, Tasmania, where we always are and always run this show. The only announcement we have this week is that we are starting another group challenge. There's a 7-day group challenge starting March 4th, so that's next Monday or this coming Monday in the Become Strong for Life Facebook group. If you are not a member of the group, you should be. It's a great resource, free things, inspiration, good stories, and challenges with prizes. So if you're interested in joining in our next 7-day challenge and potentially winning yourself a prize, well, join in. Become Strong for Life Facebook group. You can just search it. The links are in all the descriptions for the show. You can find us on Instagram, Coach Josh Wood, or Strong for Life Online Coaching, Facebook, all that jazz. And then join in the group. Everyone is welcome. And become challenged next week for 7 days and win some stuff. That's about it for announcements. There's a few background projects going on. Can't say too much about that because they're not in a position yet where I can tell you about them. Secret stuff, but cool things are happening. Now, personal training is dead. Why would I say that? I'm a personal trainer. Well, there's lots of reasons, but let's first dig into why I don't do one-on-one in gym personal training. Because that's what I'm talking about. Going to a personal trainer in a gym. It used to be the only option for people for so many years, and I just don't think it's very effective. So I worked in gyms. When did I start? I started working in gyms in 2011. It's 2024. So, 13 years now. 13 years? I think it's 13 years in October? Something like that. Anyway, it's been a while. So I've been in gyms for a long time. I've done group fitness. I've done combat sport training boxers and kickboxers. I've done one-on-one PT pretty much all that time. I've done it for a long time, and it's been my bread and butter. It's how I made a living. It's how I supported a family. It is what I did. And when I look at the number of people I worked with, I see a lot of people that could have been served better from a different style of service. I noticed that most people could only come in for 1-2 sessions a week. Generally, people can only afford about that much. Most people. And those that came in for group classes could usually do a bit more. It's a little bit more economical. But I've seen very few great transformations through group classes. It happens. There are people who have wonderful experiences and see the changes they want. They lose the body fat, they get stronger, fitter, more capable. But in general, that's a minority. Unfortunately, group classes tend not to get you there. And if you come in for one PT session a week, rarely gets you there too. You need week-long, every day coaching, accountability, programming. And it took a while to see this. I think a lot of people haven't seen it yet. But when you look at how a PT session works, it's pretty easy to see how it doesn't work. So picture this. You're a busy parent, or maybe you have a full-time job and you have kids, and you're finally at a point where you have a little bit of extra time for you and a little bit of spending money, and you're like, okay, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to make myself a priority. And I want to see some changes. I want to lose 5-10 kilos, lose some body fat. I want to look lean and strong and toned, and I want to be capable. I want to not be tired walking up the stairs to work. I want to be able to play with my kids. I need to look after myself, and now is the time. And so you take your hard-earned money and you sign up for one PT session a week, an hour. Maybe you get 30 minutes. Cool. So what happens in that session? You rock up, you do the chit chat, you maybe just get straight into a workout and you get 1 hour of working out a week. Cool. Or you do the proper chit chat, figure out how the week's going, how'd you come up from the last session, how's your food been, how is your sleep, your stress management, how's your week going. And you know what? You end up getting 20 or 30 minutes of quality exercise in, and the rest is everything else that needs to happen. The looking at the big picture, that actually gets changes. And then for the other 37 hours, gosh, don't check my math. Other 137 hours, you get nothing. You paid for an hour of time, if you're lucky. A lot of people running 45-minute and 30-minute sessions now. And only a portion of that is going to be exercise. And the rest is admin and food journals and things like that. Because you need to look at that stuff if you actually want changes. It's not enough. It can't be done. You can't make huge life changes in an hour a week. Otherwise, everybody'd be doing it. Sure, you get some good workouts in, and if you can find more time and afford more sessions, you get a lot more work done. And working one-on-one with a person in real life is the best option. But unless you can do that multiple times a week, make those appointments, find time in your schedule. It just isn't sustainable. And most people can't do that for as long as it is needed to see those changes. And that's hard. And I saw this and I said, there's got to be a better way. And that's why I started working online. This world is run by the internet. Most of us need it for our jobs. We're used to it. We use our phones for everything. And I found that there is a better option. And as the evolution of communication through apps has improved, online coaching has improved. And I think a lot of people don't understand what online coaching is. I'm not talking about virtual sessions where someone's on a camera at a certain time of day watching you try to work out in your bedroom. I've done that, and that is, honest to God, awful for me. Some people might really do well with that, but the number of times someone tries to prop up their phone on a water bottle to get a video of them doing the exercise I told them to do, and then walks into the opposite corner of the room where I can't see them, I can't hear them, and I have no idea what they're doing, or the internet cuts out, or their phone falls down, and you just end up wasting more time. If you're busy, if you've got a family, if you got a job, if you got things to do, you don't have time to waste time. And so this is why I developed online coaching systems. This is why I've invested everything into making these systems as good as possible, because when you stop working with someone by the hour and you stop forcing them into set time periods, you open up so much more flexibility. The time issue is the biggest one for people like us who just don't have a ton of time, and we need to be as efficient as possible. We need to be economical with our time. If you pay for a 1 hour PT session, you generally get 1 hour of PT. In some cases, there's some really good trainers out there who throw in some off-day programming. They throw in nutrition stuff, which is wonderful. You really need that. And those guys are doing a fantastic job. But they're still not watching you during that time. They're still not checking in. They're still not able to see what you're doing until you get that face-to-face time, generally speaking. And so when looking at setting up these systems, I was like, okay, well, how do we get the most value for your time? Well, the best thing we could do is live with our clients. The best thing we could do is be in their house, telling them what to do, making sure they're doing it right, keeping an eye on things every day of the week. That's pretty unreasonable. What's the next best option? Digital. So with online coaching, no matter who you go through, you should have access to them pretty regularly. You'll have programming regularly throughout the week. You know exactly what to do and when to do it and how to do it. You can send in videos. You get video feedback in return. You got daily messaging. You're able to really be immersed in the process with a personal coach. And you can do it whenever you want. And that's the most wonderful thing about changing these systems up and moving away from a traditional personal training model. You don't have to come in at 5 a.m. every Tuesday. If you have 30 minutes a day each day, but it happens to be at different times a day, that's fine. We can work with that. I can tell you exactly what to do. I can say, hey, this is in your program for the week. You got 4 30-minute sessions, and then we need to walk X amount each day, and then I need to see pictures of your food, and I can go through all that and analyze the data and tinker and tweak every day, Monday to Friday. I do try to take weekends off. But that value for time is massive because you're not locked into a schedule and you're not paying for an hour of time. For the cost of a PT session, an online coach can map out your whole week and keep you accountable every day of the week. And that's where the value is. You know, people think they need to pay exorbitant prices for a 1-hour session with a PT. The same price could be put towards an entire week's worth of accountability and programming and nutrition check-ins and lifestyle adjustments and looking at your sleep and stress management and really providing a holistic lifestyle coaching service for the same price as you'd get to drive 30 minutes to the gym, get in there, hope everything's running on time, maybe get 30 to 40 minutes of exercise in, a little bit of chit chat, shower, 30 minutes drive back to work or home. 2 hours of your day are gone, cost you $100, and another 137 hours is up to you. The value is just not there anymore. There's just too many good online options. And ultimately, the thing that I think really made it so hard for the average person to succeed is the lack of accountability. You check in with your PT once a week. What's that? 6 other days a week, you're on your own. It's so easy to build momentum in the wrong direction when you're left alone like that. Because if you are an adult in your 30s or 40s or 50s, you've been living a certain way for decades. And in one check-in a week, you can't change that. There's too much inertia. So you need regular support and accountability to make these changes. And that's the biggest thing. I've talked about this so many times. Accountability for adults is absolutely key to making life-changing decisions, making life-changing habits, changing your lifestyle. You need that accountability, and it has to be daily. It has to be regularly, knowing that you are supported. Someone who is invested in your success is there watching and tweaking and making sure everything is in place so that you reach the goals that you came to them with. And that requires accountability. It can't be done in one session a week. And of course, we're busy people. Making us the same appointment every week, or if we have rotating rosters, I've worked with a lot of people who have very unfortunate rotating rosters. And it is such a challenge to make and keep appointments with those systems. But if you have the ability to do what you need to do when you are able to, you can do anything. What's that, 30 minutes a day? Okay, we'll do a morning session here, an afternoon there, an evening there. No worries, you're on 7 days, off 7 days, great. Take a couple bands to work, we're going to do some sessions there. And then when you come back, you can get back into the gym, and you can have all that accounted for on your time with what you have available. And that is why I think traditional PT is dead. It lacks all the components necessary for big, lifelong changes because you need lots of tiny steps, brick by brick, built up to create a completely new lifestyle. And that takes lots of daily, tiny movements. You need someone to keep count for you, to keep you on track. And I just don't think in-person PT has that. If you can afford the time or the money to go in 3, 4, 5 days a week, you're going to do a lot better. I just don't see that for most people and haven't seen that in over a decade of working in gyms. Most people get that 1 hour and you make some progress, especially in the beginning. But it's so hard to keep that going for the rest of your life. And really, what good are changes that don't carry you through life. You need small, incremental, long-term changes. That takes accountability and flexibility and making sure you can afford to keep doing it. So I know it's probably unkind to say that PT is dead, but I just see this as the future. And I know I haven't actually really talked about how it all works, the online stuff, much. I should probably do that more because I find a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't know what online is. I don't know what online coaching is. I don't know how it works. I don't trust it. It's just like so much more life changing. It's amazing to be able to work with anybody around the world. It's amazing to be able to work on your own schedule and have someone say, okay, this is where we can fit stuff in. This is the most important thing to do. This is what we need to focus on first. We're going to do that. It allows you more flexibility. You don't feel like everything has to be the hardest workout ever because you know you're going to get more than the one session this week or more than the one session this fortnight. You know you're going to be able to fit in this many, and we can focus on food in the meantime or between sessions and really put the whole picture together for an individual. And that customization, that tailored approach is life-changing. And that's it. It was a logical decision. The reason I stepped out of gyms, I said, this is not an efficient system. So many more people could have had their lives changed. I could have had better results if I was a live-in coach. And this is the closest thing we have, online coaching. So if it's not something that you've looked into before or yet, I highly recommend you start looking around. Ask your friends. A lot of people are trying it out, and a lot of people are still distrustful of it. But if you know someone who's using an online coach or an online coaching service, chat to them. See how their experience is. You don't have to settle for one coach. You don't have to settle for one business. Do a little digging. Find someone that resonates with you. Find someone that makes sense to you and understands what you need. Don't just go to the person with the biggest following. Don't just go to the person with the biggest biceps. Don't go to the person who ensures or who is telling you that they're going to be the best of the best. Go for the person that makes the most sense to you. Find someone you like, find someone you get along with, and who understands what you're going through and has helped similar people. Proof's in the pudding. You need to see that proof before you go signing up. So that's my recommendation today. Dig into it. Because I'm always talking to people who feel like they can't get into a PT. They don't have the time, they don't have the money, they don't have whatever resources they think they need to make those changes. But if you don't start making changes now, the changes that lead to the life you want, it's going to be a lot harder to later. You might miss that opportunity. So find something that is immersive and holistic and suits your goals. And if you have any questions, hit me up. You can see a lot of great examples of people successful with online training in the Become Strong for Life Facebook group. It's a bunch of people training, different people, than all training with me. And you can also check out the website, strongforlife.online, and there's some great interviews and stories and testimonials of people who couldn't see results otherwise. So check that out. And again, if you have a good PT, hold on to them. They're worth their weight in gold. All right, folks, that's it for today. We're just at the 19-minute mark. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, you're always welcome to reach out. If you have anything you want to talk about, hit me up, Coach Josh Wood on Instagram or on Facebook. All right, folks, until next time.